Hello again, welcome back to Asgard, and welcome back to Farming Valley. So we're picking back up after last episode. I totally did not realize that I still had all this iron grit over in the workshop. And then actually got a decent amount of iron right here, so 2 stacks. So I don't necessarily need to go mining right this second, but I will have to get back on steel production like ASAP. So I am still going to have to go mining between this episode and next, because the next segment of our build is going to require a bit of a bit of steel. So it's going to be fun times. I was just in my test world messing with exactly the layout and stuff that I want of the upcoming segment. I don't know if we'll get to it today. We're going to try to get to it today, but we'll see. Okay, I've got steel being made over here. That's awesome. That's what I was thinking. I had some being produced. I am going to run just some more coal through, start producing coal coke. Today what we're going to start off by doing is we're going to fix 2 little things within our factory. And that is we're going to route the charcoal so it's a little bit more intelligent for us. And then after that we are going to... I actually got some steel in here too. And I've got some iron in there. 2 pieces, so nothing too crazy. We're also going to be setting up a system to use the bird's nest that we've got coming in as well. So what we're going to do is, first up, let's go ahead and grab a little bit of this. Let's make a couple item frames. I mean, honestly, the steel that we've got is probably about enough for the time being, but we'll see. We shall see. Alright, so the coal's getting shipped over. Great. Let's go ahead and do the charcoal routing. So down in the charcoal area, we've got charcoal and we've got cobblestone that we're going to have to deal with. And we'll get a couple item frames. Okay, so what I want to do is, down here, I need to go get water, actually, here in just a moment, but let's just pop down here. Let me throw in that. Alright, so this hopper hawk currently is collecting the cobble. Now, in addition, I would like to allow it to collect coal. So we'll just put that down right there, and we'll add coal in right there. So it can pick up all that loose coal that's sitting there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to come down just right over here. And I guess technically a lot of this stuff can get pulled up. So let's just come across to here. Let's go ahead and pull up the splitting conveyor belt. And then what we'll do is we'll just have... don't I have standard? Oh, they're right here. Okay. We'll just put that facing into there. So all the coal goes here first. And then what we're going to do is just right in here... We'll go ahead and just set up an item router. And we'll say that yellow side, all the cobble comes through... And then on the red side, or pink side or whatever, all the charcoal comes through. So now all the charcoal is going to get routed over here and go into this dispenser. And then from there, which bear in mind, we've still got charcoal that's coming through this way as well. And then I'm going to have to go get the hopper hawk. So let's pop down here to the home. And I'm actually going to go ahead and get, I think, 2 hopper hawks while we're down here. So, runes of air, I think I'm going to have to make some of those. That's fine. Just means that dispenser is going to be getting a lot of charcoal right now. While I'm crafting this up. Okay, mana powder, mana steel. Which, of course, I don't have, like, any of these things on me. Okay, so that's running. And then the redstone root... There's those, and then we need gray and light gray. Okay, so there's 2 hopper hawks, and I'm actually not going to worry about this first one. I'm not going to make it floating. The second one I'm not for sure about. There's a pretty good chance it might not be floating, but I'm not for sure yet. So, and I think that's everything that we'll need right now. So let's pop back up to the factory. Let's see, where are we at on bricks right now? We have about a stack and a half of bricks. So we are doing fairly well on those. We've got almost 4 stacks of clay. So, doing well. Alright, so what I want to do is, we should have a lot of coal over in this. So what I'm going to do then is, oh, let me get a hopper. Let's see, I think we'll put it like right, put the hopper facing in right there. And then, let me actually dig over to here. I'm grabbing like all sorts of stuff from that thing, but that's fine. We'll put our first hopper hock down right there. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put item frame sitting right there with charcoal. Okay, so it can only pick up charcoal, which it should only be able to pick up charcoal from, let's see. It should only be able to pick up charcoal from this side. So any charcoal that gets dropped on the dispenser and hangs out there for very long, it should get routed over. You can see that the mana bursts are still going off. So if we take a look, there we go. If we take a look over here, I mean, this stuff is still running. And these are all still getting charcoal. They're still, like there's charcoal and it takes a second for the hopper hock to pick it up. And it should be plenty of time so these endo flames will stay running. But then if it doesn't get picked up after so long, then the hopper hock's going to grab it and it's going to cycle it through to the next spreader system. And I shouldn't have to worry about both of them staying running because there should be plenty of charcoal. Then anything that's left over after this one will then get cycled up here. And that should be good on that one, I should say. Let me double check one thing, and that's just, I want to make sure that, wait for this to break before I jump down there. There we go. I want to make sure these aren't attached to any mana systems or anything. That one's not. That one is. It's getting mana probably from the system above it. So I'm going to go ahead and just grab that, bind it to that. There we go. Okay, now all should be right with the world. That way we aren't wasting so much charcoal and we don't have as many entities just sitting in the world. So that should help out at least a little bit. Okay, now the next thing that I want to do is I want to deal with the bird's nest just really, really quickly. And so let's, I'll tell you what, let's pop back down to the storage building. And let's make one more item frame and one more hopper. And then I'm also going to want, it's from Cyclic. It's the automated user. This right here. So this is going to take a dispenser, fairly easy to craft, obsidian magma block, and gold. The only thing is I haven't moved my nether portal, so I'm going to have to reset that up. Well, let's go ahead and do it real quick. And I'm going to go ahead and sleep before we go, because my hunger's getting down. And this is going to be another temporary portal spot. But we'll just put it over here for right now. Oops. Oh, man, I got to break this thing. I hate breaking. I've still got to break all that obsidian over there where the nether portal used to be. I've just got to move it somewhere where I'm not going to have NPCs, like, just jumping through, wanting to go along for the ride. I mean, as long as I don't get chased down by blazes and heat scar spiders and all those fun things, it wouldn't be so bad. Alright, let's see if we can find just a magma block. I remember seeing them, maybe it was off in this direction where I came across them. I remember seeing them not too far from where we spawn in at. Oh, soul sand. Still affects my bicycle. Oh no. There we go. I see magma blocks right down there. They're usually down near the lava anyways, so I probably should have taken that into account. Alright. Let me throw on my magnet ring here. And I'm going to go ahead and just grab a bit of this stuff. Oh, since we're down here grabbing it, which there's a stack. And I think that should be good. And actually, I've got my fortune pick, go ahead over here. There's some diamond. Really, I've got a lot of diamond in truth, but it can't hurt, right? Let's grab a little bit more. Okay, and I think that's good. I think I've got everything I want out of here. So let's head back to Home Nether. I love that book, by the way. I'd like to make a second one, and maybe even a third one, and have one that's just like Nether teleports, and grab it when we go to the Nether, and one that's just like around the farm kind of thing, and then one that's like further distances, like further little places of interest, so to speak. I think that would be kind of nice to do that. It might be something I might look into doing fairly soon. I just don't want to blow through my money right now because I'm not really earning money. I mean, those books are somewhat expensive. So, there we go. There's our automated user. And then let me grab that back. And then we're going to pop up to the factory. Let me pull this off, actually. And let's see what we got. Here's a bird's nest. Oh man, there's bird's nests all over the place. They are all over the place, in fact. Okay, hey you. Nope. You're not gonna bother to attack me, I guess. Okay, so kind of what I'm thinking is we're gonna set the yeah, I'm gonna have to make this floating hopper hawk. So we're gonna put the user setting right there. We'll say always on. What does it do with the items, though? Then we put that right there. And see, it would pick up all the birds' nests. But if it's not going to use them... I mean, I guess I could still route them through. Okay, it does not work at all. The automated user does not... I played around with it for a while. It will not use the bird's nest. I even tried putting them through a dispenser just to see if maybe that would do something, but no, it doesn't. It doesn't have any effect. So what I might end up doing is leaving this hopper hawk system here and changing it in the configs. There's an option for bird's nests so that you can allow them to stack, because I find it kind of silly that they don't stack. And then maybe having them sent over to a drawer with like a void upgrade. And then, you know, if I want to pop a bunch of bird's nests, I can grab them, pop them, and get the stuff out of them. I think would be the best way to handle it. So I'll just change that config between this episode and next. That'll be fine. Okay, so what I want to do next is I want to start setting up the output for all of this, because we're going to start working on the structure that's going to house, like, you know, the exporting building, right? I want to start working on that, and I was doing some thinking, and I think we're going to have the items export out through here, and they're going to kind of come out this window section. So actually this window, we're going to break this open, because we have like an uneven number. So we got 5 right there, which works out well, and then we'll have the items just kind of get pumped out through this. And so let me set up just like some conveyors that kind of come out right there, like to the outside. And then what we're going to do is, let's see, well, let me pop down to the storage building real quick. Let me grab this steel, and then let me actually get some water as well. And what I want to do is I want to make some steel scaffold. Like that. There's 30. That should be good for a minute. And then if we combine that with conveyor belts, we get the covered conveyor belts. I want to get a bit of those. Actually change those back. So 30 of those. That'll be good to start with. And then let's pop back over to the factory. And it was kind of funny because I noticed that the automated user like interacts with the bike, and I mean it does do certain things. Like if I put a hammer in there, I put a wand of the forest, you know, later on if we want to automate the runic altar, it does work for that kind of stuff. It's just most everything else it doesn't work with, strangely enough. Okay, so what I'm going to do is once the items come outside, we're going to have covered conveyor belts that carry them down into, actually put this right there. We're going to have covered conveyor belts that send these items out. So the cover conveyor is just going to kind of come down. And then if I was to put... That does work. Okay. Cool. Cool, cool, cool. I wish I could close off like this side. But I can always do like steel scaffold setting there or something. And then what we'll do is we'll just have our conveyors come out like along the front of the factory here. And I want them to stay like one above the ground because we're going to do maybe some steel scaffolding underneath these. And let's go ahead and bring these out. It's about right here, I think. So like right in there. And then let me pop down to the storage building. Let me go grab some cobble. Which I know we've got it being produced up in the factory, but it's... But right now the way everything's set up, it gets... It gets pumped out, like, you know, as soon as it gets put into the drawer. So it's hard to get, like, a decent amount of that right now. That's going to change here soon, but... Oh, it's doing a visual bug again. That's going to make everything... Because it doesn't seem to fix upon, like, pack reload or anything like that. It just bugs out like this. And I don't exactly know why that is. It just kind of does it. Yeah, see, that's supposed to be a diagonal. And technically, it's supposed to behave like a diagonal. What if I come back a little bit and then put this in? See, it still bugs out like that, and I don't know why it does that. But it drives me insane. Yeah, because see, that's going to be like all kinds of jacked looking. It's not even going to like look good at all. Because like... man, it's going to mess up everything. Because like over here, I think it's still doing it, right? Yeah, because see, that should be a diagonal, but it's not. It's not showing up as a diagonal. Well, let's just keep going, and then maybe it'll fix itself somewhere down here. But that's like it should automatically connect up, too. But it's not. Yeah, it's still doing it. It is still doing it, even after... Like, this is like a flat section, so it looks right. And then it's like, back to this. Like... man. Which makes me think it would be better to just like... Well, normal conveyors would do it too. That's the problem. Yeah, because see, that's supposed to be diagonal. Man. Well, I'm just going to go ahead and run this cobblestone down. Which doing this at night is a great idea. It's the best time to do it. Because there's like mobs all over the place. Yeah, I'm going to look and see if I can find maybe a fix for this or something. Because, I mean, it's doing it constant. Anytime there's like a slope. And it seems like it's mainly in this direction. Like, if I was to do... Is that what's causing it here? Like, if I was to do a slope off in this direction, you'll notice that it connects fine. But if I had a slope in this direction is when it messes up. But I need my slope to be in that direction, is the problem. Okay, I have no clue what's causing it. It's like it will not render correctly in this direction. I mean, I could always just go with something like vertical conveyors, just bring it straight out, and then just vertical conveyor down, and that would work. I was really wanting this like nice slope, but I don't think we're going to be able to get that. Unless I can find some kind of a fix. So what I might do is just bring it out and then have... I don't think there's actually a vertical conveyor that's covered. No, there's not. But I can cover that with scaffolding. It's not a problem. And honestly, I think that's what I'm going to have to do is just bring it out. Let me actually pull all this out. And that's not to say that I'm not going to be able to use these, because I'll still be able to use them, just not in the way that I intended to use them. And then if I was to come out over here and we threw in like, okay, there's some cobble. Whoops. No. Oh, man. Alright. Well, let's see. Did it drop the cobble over here? Yeah, it looks like right there, I think. Maybe. Let me go back and double check. Yeah, it should be, because I've got 64 cobble again. So, I mean, this is bringing the cobble down, and then I'm just going to have to do vertical conveyors, I think. I don't think there's really any way around that. Well, actually, you know what? I don't need the vertical conveyor. I need just a standard conveyor. Like a dropping conveyor is what I need, not a... Yeah, vertical is just for going up. I don't know what I'm thinking. So, I guess what we'll do then is then have a dropping conveyor belt. Of course, I don't have any iron on me. And then just have like a drop shaft. I would really like to have this. I mean, it makes more sense than like just dumping all the items down. I'll tell you what, one thing that I could do. Let me pop over here. It's not really my original plan, but I think it could work nicely. There's another 30 of those. Let's go ahead and turn all these into covered conveyors. And then what I'm thinking is we could have the conveyors turn and then go down this side of the factory. And I think it would still look fine if we did that. Let me grab this. So if we had conveyor setting like right there and then bring the items... Well, of course. Ugh. I swear. I hate this so much. I really hope this is like a trend. Like, oh, don't render properly, please. Like, that would just kill me. Okay, well, you know what? I guess I'm gonna have to just have this drop. I mean, I don't see much as far as a workaround at this point. I don't think so. Because I can't swing it over to the left. I can't, I mean, I don't know. It makes no sense. Like, if I was to put down a conveyor here, yeah, it renders fine. Of course it does. Of course it renders fine. If I had conveyor setting here, that's when it messes up. It's when a conveyor connects into it like that. That's probably what all of it is just issues with the way that it renders. When it's connected to certain directions, it just doesn't render properly. Now this direction right here does not render at all when it's on that axis. You can go uphill just fine. That all renders. It's just the downhill does not render. Yeah, I guess I'm just going to have to maybe make a dropping conveyor and let the stuff drop down. I mean, that seems to be about the only route that I'm going to be able to take at this point. Since, like, literally nothing else works for this. So maybe just put, like, a dropping conveyor right there. And then we'll put, like, steel scaffolding on this side. Let me go ahead and sleep. There's mobs all over there just shooting me with, like, flaming arrows. And then I guess maybe I could bring scaffolding out like that. And then I'll maybe do, like, supports. And kind of turn it almost into, like a silo type look. Like a drop shaft, I guess would be about the only way I'm going to be able to do this, I think. Like, I don't foresee anything else that would work. But I think we could still make it look pretty good with like a drop shaft like that. So I don't think it's like a total loss or anything. Oh man. You're the one. It's bugging me to death right now. And then I guess we could just bring the scaffolding straight down. I'll build the rest of it out later on. And we'll just build like a big drop shaft that drops down. That would get us down to there. And I think with all the rest of the stuff that's going to be going on with the factory, I think it's going to look just fine. It's just kind of frustrating. Like, I was really wanting like that wrapping conveyor system that comes down. Which between episodes, I'll take a look and see if I can find maybe it's been updated. Like maybe there's an update for this that would cause that to work properly. I don't know. Because that's going to cause a little bit of a problem within our factory when half of our conveyor belts are rendered incorrectly. It's going to be a slight problem, but I mean, as long as we can make it look like the scaffolding kind of comes out and we've got like this conveyor system that brings stuff down, it's not terrible. I mean, I don't really like the fact that we've got just a drop-off like this, but I mean, it could be a lot worse. So we'll just have this kind of come down, To like right about in there, I think. And then we're going to have a conveyor belt setting. Let me grab this cobble. And we're going to have a conveyor belt setting right there that's going to get the items that are dropped down here. And it's going to pull them, which this stuff's all going to get shaped up. We're going to have like bricks and stuff down here, which we'll be working on this next episode. And this is where our time is going to be spent, is working on the storage building. I'm just kind of trying this episode to get where we're going to plug all this in at. Like get a place to build from and everything. So I've got a bunch more scaffolding to make, but that's fine. And then what we'll do is we'll have the scaffolding come out. And it's actually going to plug into like the upper section of the export building. Like that. It's got to come out a little bit further. Let me actually get up on top of this. In fact, and I'll go ahead and just run this back a little bit. Okay. So it's going to come out like that, and between episodes, I will play around with in my test world to see if I can get those things to render. Like, maybe it has to do with some kind of visual mod or something like that. And I'll mess around with it, but honestly, I don't mind the way it looks too much. I mean, we got this nice conveyor system, a drop system, and then the conveyor comes out. And this is going to be like the rear back-ish section of the export building that we're going to build on top of this. And then we're going to have it kind of come out to like up here, you know. And so the entrance to that is going to be like right over here. And there's going to be like a little road that comes up. And then, of course, we're going to have the stables come out a little bit to kind of make this like boxed in shape. And then we're going to have the little path kind of come up and connect into the storage building. So, or not the storage building, but the export building. I think that'll be good. And then we'll have... we're going to have another section of the factory down here, not just the export building. It's probably going to be back over, right over in like this section here. And then we're going to have like a little pathway and stuff. We'll start getting into that and kind of bringing the factory together. So it's not all one building. It's going to be kind of spread out across like a couple different buildings. But I've got to get more steel to bring that down. But I think for the most part, we got the scaffolding ran today that we need to get ran. I will say we're still going to have to put in like supports and stuff like that, so it's not just like a floating conveyor line that comes out. But overall, I think it'll look pretty nice. And then we'll do like maybe some concrete beam supports that kind of come up right here along the corners of this. I don't know if I'll do them like architecture craft, like make them slanted, or do like a pillar or something like that. I don't know. I've got to play around with that and figure out exactly what design we want to use for that, but... I think it'll be good. And then like this will come out, and then it's going to connect into like the drawer controller system, and then we'll start setting up the drawers and stuff, which I think I've come up with an idea for how I want to design those out. It's going to be treated wood, but for the most part, it's going to be a lot of treated wood actually. Whoops. We're also going to be making treated wood scaffolding, quite a bit of that as well. Anyways, I know it's about wrapping up point for this episode. Next episode, we will probably be building the whole episode. So, and start getting out. I am probably going to do a little bit of clearing between this episode and next. Also making a bit of steel between this episode and next. Maybe a little bit of mining between this episode and next. So it might be kind of closer to winter come next episode, but we'll see. So, and I may go ahead and like plot out the dimensions for the building, maybe. Anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed the episode. If you did, as always, be sure and hit that like button and go ahead and subscribe if you're not already. Stay updated with when new videos come out. Another thing that I almost forgot to mention, we will put a strip curtain right over here and kind of close in this. But we're going to do it a little bit later on. So these curtains are right here, these strip curtains. But I've got to get tough fabric and all that. And so we will make some of that, those strip curtains, and put that there so it kind of actually looks like a conveyor exit for the factory. But we'll do that whenever we shape this up. So, which we'll be getting into redstone control soon once we get that storage building kind of situated. Right now we've got 4.5 stacks of bricks. So I think by next episode we should be in a good position. I'm probably going to put storage upgrades in there. And then probably in the clay as well, because we got a half stack or a half filled drawer right there of clay. So anyways, and then I'm going to play around. I'm going to do the bird's nest thing where I make it so that, yeah, see, there's a piece of sand. Change up the bird's nest thing so that these can stack, and then we'll set up a drawer for those as well. Just those can get stored away, and then I can, I guess, manually pop them unless I find an automated way to do it. Just manually pop them and get resources that way. So there's a lot of nice resources that can come from those, but if you can't automate them, they kind of lose a lot of their value, I think. But it still wouldn't hurt to have a drawer filled with them. So, but anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed it. I hope to see you guys next time. Until then, as always, do take care, stay safe, and I'll see you guys next time.